It's packing a screaming V12 and it's electrified. But can this poster car from Lamborghini move the game on and yet still feel like a Lambo? Welcome to the Driver Reviews channel. I'm Vicki Butler-Henderson and today we are looking at a perfect poster car. It is the Lamborghini Revuelto. Prices, well, let's get them out the way. To start with, this costs around £450,000, but this particular car has about £100,000 worth of options as well. That is an impressive tick list. This is a car that's a work of art from any angle, so much so that you need to enjoy the full 360-degree tour. Comparing the size to another V12 powered Italian, the Ferrari 12 Cilindri, this Lambo is longer and wider, but its roof is a little closer to the road. And if you're not familiar with the Ferrari in the flesh yet, well, the dimensions here are roughly 4.7 metres long, 2.1 metres wide and 1.3 metres high. Or park it next to a Land Rover Discovery. The aluminium doors reach to the sky in the most dramatic way possible, highlighting the fact that there is nothing shy and retiring about this car. But you can't rush the door. You have to squeeze this hidden handle, just wait for the glass to drop, and then it gives space for the spectacle. Its carbon construction is laid bare for all to see, and I love that. You can see and touch the underpinnings of the car in its raw, unpainted glory. There is so much shinier woven carbon fibre across the bodywork that even I might actually say enough, especially on those protruding parts of the car. The LED lights at the front move around actively to highlight the immediate future, and you look through the windscreen that's made of lightweight glass, though you would never know it. The wheels are whoppers, 21 inch at the front and 22 at the rear, with optional titanium bolts, of course. Standard bolts are black. The carbon ceramic brakes are nestled within them all and are bigger at the front than at the rear. They are wrapped in Bridgestone Potenza Sport run flats, which will get you home if punctured. How wide are these? There is a small L on the sidewall, marking it as a Lamborghini specific fitment. Inside there is an electric motor, and it's the same on the other side, and they are responsible for powering the front wheels in electric mode only. I know, a front-wheel drive Lamborghini. Who'd have thought? Everywhere you look, there are nooks and crannies and flaps and slots for air to pass through. And this is the most aerodynamic Lambo ever, generating the most downforce too. Round the back, there is so much going on. The highlights for me are the tailpipes, the rear wing, which opens from around 50 miles an hour and upwards and closes as you brake. And then there is this, the pièce de la résistance, the V12 engine. You may be thinking, well, that's all well and good and lovely, but isn't there supposed to be a plug-in element to this car? Well, yes, and I think I've actually found the one thing that this car is a little shy about and wants to hide. It's the plug. And if you need to plug in and walk away, this carbon fibre cover will lock whilst leaving a gap for the wire. There's 112 litres in here, which is enough for a soft weekend bag or two, or leave this lot in, including Lambo's traditionally white gloves and toolkit. Once inside, you will be delighted to know that there is space for a couple of soft bags and coats. But the overwhelming thing about the cabin is the workmanship. It is a total joy to behold. You can order whatever combination of colours and finishes you fancy, pretty much. But in this car, there's an abundance of green leather, gold stitching and more carbon fibre, though it's not quite so shiny in here as it is outside. Ahead of the passenger is a £3,000 display, and ahead of me is a near £7,000 carbon and leather wheel. This digital display isn't much bigger than a mobile phone, but it is ridiculously easy to use. The only negative is that it picks up sticky paw prints easily, though that is par for the course for all touchscreens really. There is very little storage. A small glove box, a key holder and a couple of mats for your phone, and that's your lot. There is no wireless charging. What? I know, you have to use one of those. There is an awful lot going on with this wheel, and you have to touch most of the controls most of the time. There's no fast track to a single fun button when it comes to driving modes, which is a pity. This top left red one is perhaps the most important. So these are your driving modes, from city stuff all the way through to electronic stability control off and launch control. On the right, you can go into electric mode. Underneath, you are responsible for the rear aero, the rear tail. You can go up or down. And then bottom left, you can lift the car up for any speed bumps. There's more on the front, and then there is even more on the back. It is a busy wheel, but these gorgeous gear levers are spectacular and lovely to touch. When the car is in park, you can recharge the battery fully in 6 minutes. You can also recharge the battery on the move as well, but it just takes a little longer. So you might never ever have to actually plug it in. I've started it up. It starts in electric mode. There's no big bang of shaking V12. For that, you have to go to the steering wheel and ask for the engine. To share this car's statistics with you before I tell you how they make me feel. And before all of that, I would love it if you could press like and subscribe so you're notified each time we post something new. You might look at a car like this and think, oh my gosh, that's going to give such a hard ride. Not here, because this has got Lamborghini's MagneRide system, and it's got 2 simple settings. So you twist. One is for hard, one is for soft. Leave it in soft and you will be very happy. I've done some 2.5 hour stints in this car and got out as fresh as a daisy. Inside, it is as dramatic as a theatre production, with the busiest bit being around the steering wheel, because these are the controls for everything, front and back. And unfortunately, there is no shortcut or one button that's just got boom, fun, and has all of my preferred settings on it. So you are constantly touching and pulling and twisting something on the steering wheel. But it's no real hardship. My rear view is fabulous, and that rear spoiler, which pops up from 50 miles an hour and above and closes again below 50 roughly, it is enough just to catch your eye and think, oh my gosh, there's somebody really close behind me. But that's fine, because it draws your attention to that amazing engine, which just looks and sounds divine. However, pop it into electric mode And look at the engine and you think, oh, I've got Usain Bolt on board, but I'm just asking him to do a Sunday stroll. It is bizarre. Two electric motors whirring away, powering this Lamborghini in front-wheel drive mode. Bizarre. But it's ticking a big green credential box. I'm sure people are looking at this car, and you get a lot of looks in this car. Oh my gosh. You also get a lot of people sort of zooming up into your blind spot on motorways and sitting in your blind spot, like taking pictures of the car, which is super fine, but they sit there because they get a lovely shot of the rear three quarters, and it's quite difficult for you to see them until it's, you know, till you're almost on top of them if you're gently moving back across lanes. In electric mode, you can go for 6.2 miles, aka 10 kilometers, before it sort of runs out of puff completely, and then the engine has to kick in to help recharge everything. So you don't ever have to plug it in, really, because the car is constantly recharging. So when you put your foot on the throttle, the electric sort of hybrid part of things, the blue line that you can see on the dial here, that kicks in quite well before the engine then gets going and gives you all it's got. The steering on the roads is precise, neat, tight, efficient. It's lovely. I need just to tell you a few niggles that I have come across. The first, I mean, they're really small, but the first is this A-pillar. Because I'm sitting a little bit nearer the screen than somebody who is 6 foot, for example, this A-pillar blocks some of my vision at T-junctions and roundabouts. Then there is this sun visor, which, if I was taller, would actually do something, but because I'm 5'5½", which is perfectly perfect, that is about as much use as a pencil to me up there. There's the fuel economy. Now, I've driven this car now for, well, I don't know, 500, 600 miles, mainly on motorways, and I've done around 20 miles to the gallon. And finally, there is the noise. Now, I know you're going to think I'm bonkers because I'm loving the V12 noise, but the cabin is quite noisy. So when you're listening to music, podcasts, you have to have the volume up almost at its maximum to listen to things, which, you know, isn't great. Will any of that really annoy me though? Of course not, because this car also does this. And so to that engine, a 6.5 litre V12, 0 to 62 in 2.5 seconds and on to 217 miles per hour. And it revs to 9,250 RPM. Hubba hubba. Should we stretch its legs? As impressive as it is to glide silently through sleepy villages, this car needs to be shaken and waken, as does the 8-speed dual clutch gearbox. These are super razor sharp. The throttle response is so sharp, honestly. A mouse could breathe on that throttle and the car would lurch forward. And equally, those brakes, there is just the smallest movement in that pedal. Oh, this thing is feisty and so different to how it behaves in electric mode. Oh, lovely. 2 cars in one. This is the ultimate twofer. There are no fewer than 13 driving modes throughout the combination of all these dials. But to be honest with you, the only one I'm interested in is the one that says ESC off. And then this car becomes an utter brute. There is no way this side of a racing circuit that you could keep up this brutality in a way, but it's sort of like almost manageable brutality. Oh, la 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 la. There is so much drama going on that I tell you, the speed is the last thing that you are interested in looking at. It is a cheeky little handful. Anybody can drive this car. It is a very user-friendly supercar, and it is so impressive for that. But also, it is a fantastic bit of kit. And just a tiny bit of pressure on the throttle and the car lurches forwards, and it is just as efficient on the brake pedal. You just have to put a millimetre or two of pressure onto it, and boom, those ceramic carbon brakes really slow you down. It is an amazing bit of kit, and I'm so glad that it is in the world. It is intimidating, intoxicating and intense, but it is also a pussycat that everybody can drive around town in electric mode. Other V12 cars include the Aston Martin Vanquish and Ferrari 12 Cilindri, but they are a diminishing breed. This Lamborghini, though, gives a modern twist on that beloved engine to keep it relevant. The world needs this car. Thank you so much for watching Driver Reviews. Please let us know your thoughts about the Lamborghini in the comments section, and please press like and subscribe so that you're notified each time we post something new. If you've welcomed a Lamborghini Revuelto into your garage, then you will have noticed how big the tyres are. This one sits on 21 inches at the front and 22 inches at the rear. They are surrounded by Bridgestone Potenza Sport tyres, developed specifically for the Revuelto and its demands. They feature run flat technology, which allows you to drive the car for up to 80 kilometres and at a speed of 80 kilometres per hour, which is very handy if you have a puncture. The Potenza Sport was custom engineered for this car's characteristics and its V12 power, just like a tailored suit. There is a small L on the sidewall, marking it as a Lamborghini specific fitment. Based on real-world feedback, this tyre has a rating of 4.5 stars on Driver Reviews. Bridgestone offers a winter option as well. It's called the Blizzak LM005 for when you drive in colder climates.